What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. That's for the one commenter who asked for the older intro. I usually do a segue with it. That being said, let's talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! Investing. While I'm not a financial advisor, I don't know the future of the market, what Konami will do. We can speculate on the different routes of where Konami will go, and lately they are doing a lot of rewaves, even Retro Pack claiming old classic style, and then you have Rarity Collection where people are saying, oh yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Investing's dead, they're just cashing in on everything, where I see adapt or die. First edition, old school stuff, that first ed stamp matters a lot. It's where they don't go in the territory of reprinting, but they will rewave, say, a top 5 selling set like LODT. So when it comes down to it, people are still throwing a lot of money at the Yu-Gi-Oh! Market and seeing what will stick, and we're not just talking about the WCQ season. Dark Magician Bach version, this is a card I've always liked, hit one of its all-time lows in the 50s, and then absolutely has been skyrocketing. I don't personally own one. I kind of wish I did, and I might actually in the future. Sad I missed that $50 mark, but there's one at 77 newly listed before they're 150 plus from the buyout mode, and people even spent up to triple digits on light play versions. That one's wild to me, but a ton sold in the 80s during the buyout. My opinion is this goes with wanting to be classic even though it's modern, but it's not just, oh yeah, I remember Dark Magician, I remember Blue Eyes. Look at Rarity Collection itself. I was warning, once you have Rarity Collection 2, it's going to give a legacy to the set and people are going to reach back and go for the old stuff. The sealed is absolutely going crazy over these last 3 months, all the way up towards 140 plus a box, and a lot of the cards inside are also going up with that. Effect Veiler is back up a good amount. While it was at a height of near 100, it fell back down as it fell out of favor with him being a tech in metagames, and here we go with it rising really nicely back towards 72 75, and several cards actually have that kind of a graph where it was up, came back down, and is going back up once again. Look at Called by the Grave towards 40, a modern meta marvel, and Rarity Collection, the set people are saying is killing that market itself, doing pretty nicely, isn't it? And there's a lot more people talking about this set with Rarity Collection 2, so it also has that natural chatter, but a lot of the cards inside are just going so low in quantity and slowly up in price as the sealed gets even further choked out. So do be aware, a lot of these quarter century secret rares are doing very nicely for themselves, and I had a conversation actually on Rarity 2 being better because of past formats. Like, I don't buy that conversation personally, and there's a lot of past format play actually within Rarity Collection, like Lonefire, like Veiler, like Tour Guide, and some of those do end up making the front page, and Change of Heart was certainly a nice addition. Now in Rarity Collection 2, we have some buyouts going. Garura 25th is spiking like crazy and is up towards 25. Super polymerization target that finds its way into a lot of different extra decks also for being dumped. Makes a ton of sense, doesn't it? Sarveus is interesting to see start to rise back up. It's only up towards $12, but it's a ritual hand trap, has found its way into several metagames. But most interesting to me is how the Platinum Secrets are doing in this set. IP Mascarena's Plat Secret has plenty of sales now, over 30. That's kind of wild to me, and a good amount in the 20 range as it went into that buyout mode, and tons spending at 18. How this falls back out will be pretty telling as probably the top Platinum Secret. But this one, yeah, I did not see Platinum Secrets doing this well at all. A lot of people missed that. As you can see, they even fell out initially and then have come way back up. And it's something this set has going for it that Rarity Collection 1 doesn't have going for it. Pressured Planet Quarter Century Secret Rare is spiking as well, a very good amount. It was down towards 11 and now they're around 18s. And Rarity Collection 2 is causing other buyouts, with people having attention on what's now more budget in here. They're grabbing the other pieces up for it, like Kashtira Riseheart was coming back down over time, and now it's spiking back towards $15 as people have the cash engine. And this will face further reprints throughout the year, I feel like. You have Expurely Noir, both of them. Somebody brought up the big one, and then I'm like, well, the little one, big one, they're both going low on quantities and up in price, so that's interesting. But but the max rarities are also doing well for themselves and going up along with that. Then you have Lubellion with Dragon Link stuff always becoming more accessible. Like, it feels like people like to pick up the higher rarity, though. The mid-max and highest rarity are doing well, while the lowest rarity actually goes down a little, so that's great. But when it comes down to it, the OG is rising pretty sharply here, although there's a good amount under its market price and graph too. Do keep in mind, graphs can be impacted by foreign transactions where they're using TCG Player Direct or only sellers that can ship international. So sometimes weird sales come up. Somebody was asking me about that on cards recently, and I did want to insert it here that do keep in mind the foreign market does play into TCG Player, but they often have to spend a good amount more, which can make some sales seem sussy. Now we can point out the ones that are absolutely ridiculous and are unlikely to be foreign sales, but sometimes that, why are people spending $30 on a $17 card? They just want access to the card and they're in Brazil or something like that. Grand Ganal is around $28. It's been going up both for the Ultra and the Starlight Rare. And it's interesting because it was up even more, and then you see it's coming back up just straight. Like, it's pretty cool to see how branded keeps getting people to buy into it and finds its way back into metagames past what people expected of it. Unchained Solyama has moonrocketed. There's no other way to put it. The quarter century secret rare being around 185 lowest is wild, and there's even a sale around the 175. So we'll see where it settles versus these mass 130 sales, but I think it's not going to go under 145, 150 for a while probably. Then I wanted to go over Legacy of Destruction real quick because it's been a little while with Rarity Collection being the focus. The Lightsworn Dragon Link's doing pretty well for itself in the quarter century secret rare and ultra slots. Nightmare Throne is going back atop the set though, and Yubel decks are actually pretty viable rogue if not considered within the metagame, and I see a lot of people repping them. The Magicians of Bond and Unity, I remember this being on pre-sale at 60 and being like, that's actually a pretty good sale, especially with codes, because people keep pushing these all towards 80s and people are already buying into it right now. Even though this is still our packet regionals, more of these will be pulled. People are eating these up off of the market and they're starting to go up. The Yugi cards have overperformed early, in my opinion. I expected them to go up over time, so they're doing really nicely for themselves in quarter century secret rare. Again, modern, while going with a taste of the past, can be a recipe for success. But a lot of people don't expect like some kind of high-end reprint of these because they're already in quarter century secret rare, so how would that get beat? And that's why people kind of go in on stuff like this. Then we do also see the rest of the set has fallen out pretty nicely to where it's evening out. Nightmare Prince is still not the most copies in the world though. People seem to really like it. The mix of kind of like collector, casual, and also competitor all mix into that card nicely. And then we get into ultras. Tenpai Dragon has fallen down the Pydra to $15, which is nice. It's where we kind of expected this card to be. It just took a little bit longer, right? Like that was my call and a lot of people's call at 15 after seeing like initial spikes. It's not gonna stay up there. And then tons of the rest of the set has fallen out. The Ragnarika underperforming versus what I thought it would be, and there's so much going on within the set, but overall prices have been leveling, and the Yugi stuff seems to be some of the biggest pull to the set that people are excited for, along with Yubel. The set itself is doing actually nicely as sealed. Like, you want to see something around 68 to 71/2 early, and it's really dug its heels in around that $68 mark. Even though the graph looks pretty grim for it, 68 is where you want to see something. Once you start going under 60, the set's not as salvageable. And now that I got to the cards, there is a new Dark Magician of Chaos figure in 1/7 scale. Ami has it up. This isn't sponsored at all. And yeah, you can't have certain playmats, but that you can have these kind of figures, you know what I'm saying? Konami will sell you something and then tell you not to use it depending on the range. Although I guess this technically wouldn't be Konami, and this is also Japan where they get their cards and then they're censored. We're going off on tangents that I could rant about in a whole video. Anyways, be aware, this figure is up for sale. It's about a foot tall, and it's pretty darn nice. I actually have the custom Wasp Studio one that came out a while ago, and I think I'll probably just stick with that. Something about this and the stand isn't as appealing to me with that clear plastic and then the rise on the foot being visible for this kind of money, around the 140, but a lot of the figures in this price do end up relying on those foot and balance stands. It's just personally not for me on this one, but if I didn't have the Wasp Studio one, I would absolutely be going for this. That being said, thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy these conversations that kind of bounce around not just the cards, but a bit of market theory, and I really enjoy it too, personally.